What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. Megatin Madness is here, baby. And with that, we're not behind the wall of pre-sellers that are limited, barely undercutting each other, have that limited supply. Here we see 64 listers instead of 4 on Crossout Designator. It's under that triple-digit mark where someone last night, somebody ended up buying $300 copies or something disgusting. But now you can see the sales dipping, competition super ramping up. All of these sales are today. So this is pretty awesome, but that may change later tonight with Attack of the Bonus Bucks back. This is TCGPlayers' biggest ever promotion. I've seen 10%, 8%, 5%, and that's because their fee structure allows for that 10% buffer. They still have to pay employees, so they lose a little money. This is huge, which is probably why it's only 6 hours. It starts at 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central, that's 3 o'clock Pacific, and you can use that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. And while I'm self-interested in you doing that, I will say I put my audience first always, so heed this bit of warning. This environment ends up usually bubbling up card prices. Check other platforms, make sure it's the best deal for you, and don't just blindly buy into it, actually going crazy. Oh, it's gone, I better get it. Either wait a little bit for competition to come back in, kind of look through the sale and see what motivated sellers appear, or buy on another platform that's a better price for you if that 15% doesn't make back up for it. That being said, the prices are really cool right now. I got pushback yesterday. Oh, these prices are gonna stay up. It's gonna go to the moon. Look at the sales. While others were saying, yeah, it's pretty reasonable that prices would fall back down. Triple Tactics Talent, I called week 2 would be around $33, and here it is already at $36. The top engine, Nadir Servant, Dogmatica, all these pieces, they're still the most expensive, and we did see on pre-sales that those were the top selling cards, and they're still selling above those pre-sales. At $18 for Nadir Servants, people are grabbing 3s, Ecclesias at 12s, people are grabbing 3, and the independent cards like Zeus are about pre-sales price at 16 to 17. IDP sold out on daily at 10, then 11, then 12, and then they were completely gone. I understand it being 14, and this is probably the card I underestimated the most, which is not a mistake I made with Rise of the Duelist. I said at $7, this seems like a pretty good buy, and then it went to 12 to 15. I'm like, that's probably the ceiling, and it went up a lot. While this card has fallen out of the favor of the current format, so many people have wanted access to it, and it's a super nice upgrade. Lulu and Fractal are down in price. I told you guys this was going towards 20. Oh, it's way more than you think it'll be. Already down to 6. But again, a lot of people are going to be interested in these cards tonight. And for the bottom half of the 10s, I would wait for even more competition. These are the kind of things that tend to bottom out rather than have week 1 buyouts. While the top end is what I would consider getting sooner than later, depending on the card, but competition will continue to ramp up on those, especially with the sale tonight. You can see the sealed going down pretty quickly too as people start to list their cases, but $330 still not the best price. I've also heard of a lot of locals charging $30 for their 10s, and while there are scumbag locals, I still want to emphasize, support your locals, asterisks, if they're a good locals. I hate to see those locals that take advantage of being the only local in an area where people meet up and they get kind of scummy, but I want to give you the other side of the story. There are waves on the Megatins, right? So they're only going to get X amount of 10s versus what they ordered, and they're going to go to their distro like, do you have any more? And a lot of distros with the Megatins end up ordering a ton more because they're a flagship product that always sees success for the most part throughout the years. And with that, the distros can go, yeah, I have extra, but I'm going to charge more. And that happens a lot. So they may have had to pay more to get these 10s in order to put them before you, or they are just being scummy. So there is a chance that those people charging more had to actually pay more rather than they're just scumbagging you. And they see these prices over here on TCG Players, so they may have paid 20, they may have paid MSRP, expecting to maybe make sales with that. So do give some locals the benefit of the doubt, but obviously you know your local area better than I do. Now, going through what's changing because of the 10s, a lot of people now have access to Tri-Brigade. Also upcoming in Synchro Storm, Leerlusk will really enjoy Downer Magician as another material for Zeus, and this is going lower on quantities and spiking back up in price. So just be aware, it doesn't have a reprint for a very long time, ever since Gold Series, and That's premium gold too. That's forever ago. And it's just an extra material for Zeus. Bururu Adignister continues to climb in price. It did not get printed in the 10s. Goes with Adignister in the 10s. Neither did Earth Golem Adignister, which is sitting solid at 50 cents, but has been for some time. Also a super poly target. Somebody in the Discord said something interesting, like really interesting, that I kind of agree with. Brothers of Legend could give these hollow upgrade slots, and I don't disagree, because often when they miss something in the 10s, they plan to do that over there, and there is eye support in Brothers of Legend. So that could be a thing to consider moving forward, rather than just hopping on paying extra money for these right now. But if you're playing the deck, you're in the market for it. Zolkin keeps going down in quantities. I did suggest this on the last Market Watch without pulling it up on the screen. I do want to emphasize these are super low quantities, and it's seeing a lot of play in V-Dub to make Crystal Wing, but also you will see Crystal Wing in a lot more decks as we hit Synchro Storm, and I'm seeing even like the super from the OTS go towards $5 and every other version go up rather quickly. So I would think about getting the version of Crystal Wing you want sooner than later if you are playing this. It goes in so many different decks. Grandmaster of the Six Samurai. Coder said I can't stop talking about my win for 5 minutes. This card is one of my favorites for a good reason. That's why it's House of Champs. I actually won something all the way back in 2008, which means my win, if it was a person, couldn't play in Dragon Duels after this year. Kind of dating myself. But seriously, the secret rares have been bought out to a ridiculous proportion. You see even the unlimbs are gone, and everything's light play up until 350 for the first editions. I would not be paying that. I think it'll settle back down, and you can see it's way above market price. But other versions of Grandmaster, like the Battle Pack prize card, which all the Battle Pack prize cards seem to be getting targeted. This is a forgotten piece of history where they had these at locals, and they would end up, you know, giving them out as prizing, and they would go up over time, like especially Judgment Dragon. But Grandmaster getting super targeted here also. As you can see, other prices are still pretty reasonable for some cool cards there. And then even the super rare is above market price. So a bunch of different Grandmasters getting targeted. It's one of my namesake cards. I have my own personal collection of these. It's just crazy to think this is what it went for before my win. The day of my win, it doubled in price towards 20. But the super rare sneak peek promos, one of the best ever sneak peek promos, is now $10 again. For bonus bucks back, I wanted to go over some things I think that could end up going up in price or going a little bit crazy. Dark Magician is certainly, as a ghost rare, something that's flatlined over time towards 700, but things that people have been super waiting for. So the more you spend, the more you end up saving in a sense, and a lot of people could end up targeting this along with Starlight rares. Starlights tend to only move during promotions like this, or when an interested party gets together and does a buyout, or one super deep pocket does it, and then you see them do a standstill, right? Like Triple Tactics Talent is down in price since its buyout and continue to only go down. Area the Water Charmer has only gone up over time. Veiler's chilling out with more listings, and Lightning Storm got wrecked by a collector rare appearing. Who would have called that one? But the 3 of is less played than it used to be, while still a solid option that floats back into formats. Black Rose is at its all-time low, and Stardust is as well. These have not seen buyouts, and we're about to head to the next core set, so I could see these getting maybe targeted. So I would, especially with Black Rose, maybe consider it sooner than later. And Burst of Destiny is going to really make Dawn a DLC set that goes up where there's other value besides Stardust in the set, with a lot of things getting its future support. We still don't know how Bead Trooper is going to be. So with this, it's still the leader of the set, but you could see other value actually zap. So I think Black Rose is probably more of the, yeah, it's about its time, but it also has the Ghost Rare above it. And then there's the ulti. It has a lot of competition, like we see Lightning Storm, but the competition's much older. Cyber Dragons have been on this roller coaster of 160, 180, 160, 180, 160, 180, and right now it's back towards its low. The Cyber Strike structure deck's on the horizon, and I could see people going for this during bonus bucks back also. I did not know Solemn Judgments were up in price to this point, 120 and hanging in there. Makes a lot of sense after seeing the multiple Solemn Strike buyouts, but Strike actually has floated back into the metagame where you don't see this as much, but you do see it very rarely actually peek its head into the meta. So I understand. I just don't like how this version looks. First ed MRD, Ghost Rares, you have other options as well, but it's still an ultimate rare and people love their ultis. Galaxy Expedition, I almost said expectations, as in expectations of table 500, but no, it's an underestimated rogue deck. I just feel like it has its problems. I've seen so many Galaxy buyouts. I did not know Expedition, on its second printing from an OTS pack, was still $10. So this is a card maybe you have sitting around your bulk, pulls from locals, you thought might be nothing or even $1. It's $10 freaking dollars. So just something to be aware of. And OTS pack 9 is that OTS pack that was shorted and replaced with OTS pack 5. So there's not a lot of OTS pack 9. So with only 2 printings, makes a little sense for such a good card for the deck. Sky Striker Ace Token is up in price towards $7 to $8. I called this one back when it was 3. I even pointed out how the Japanese version that was common was worth more, and now it's gone above that common version, but their holo is way more expensive. So, still a pretty cool card, and with Sky Strikers having floated back into the metagame, this is solidified and gone up over time. And finally, we have Ultimate Utopia coming up. People like to max on their number collections, and I think this version looks really ugly, and I like the gold version, but a lot of you guys are going to be in the comments saying, I hate gold rares in general. It looks terrible. I think gold looks really good on XCs, and Ultimates versus the old school Ultimates look kind of bad in Ulti. But this is the highest rarity version, and I could see people targeting this today too. So I would be shopping for what you want or have been waiting for with this promotion tonight if you have the money to do so. Always take care of yourself first. Make sure you're good before pouncing on cardboard. You're going to eat your meals through the week, pay your bills. Don't go crazy because of a sale. But if you are buying, use that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. And I just want to say also, Hypeland teased their first shirt. Some people in my comments already called this ugly. I think it looks amazing. I love that aesthetic of 90s t-shirts, and the only thing I would have even removed is the cape, because I would have liked to see it kind of slim up through the middle. But I love the purple tie-dye. I like the 90s feel of the shirt. I like that Lava Golem and Sphere Mode are on a shirt together, and I can't wait for the Hypeland drop. I'm gonna be buying that Toon Summon Skull rug. But yeah, this is the first teaser, and I'm super excited for Hypeland to be on Yu-Gi-Oh! Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. And what do you think is gonna happen with the Megatins tonight? I will be live streaming, and we'll be watching the show of what's happening to this price range.